Right, St. Louis. I'd like to say good morning, St. Louis, on this beautiful Friday. St. Louis, we're going to go to school as best we can, and we're going to try to come to the realization or come to a full understanding as to why and how we've been deceived for such a long time. How have we been convinced that we have to die, have to become sick with debilitating illnesses from cancer to Alzheimer's to dementia to lupus to schizophrenia, all kinds of diseases? I want you to take just a few minutes to listen to what I'm trying to convey. And I think if we can get this, I think we all can reach a deeper level of truth. Because before we reach the truth, unfortunately, we've already perished. Because if you're dying every day, how can you reach enough power to know how to reverse your death? You're not going to reach the power to know. You're going to stay in the pool of poison, of toxicity, until you completely perish. If you're not increasing in power each day, how can you know that you're living in darkness? It's just like if you're taking a swim across the Atlantic Ocean and you have 50 yards before you reach completion, but yet you realize that you were traveling the wrong way. But yet at one point you thought you were traveling the right way because those that came before you were on the other side of the bank rooting you on so you can complete and be where they are. But yet you didn't realize you were traveling towards your death. But you still didn't figure it out because everyone was rooting for you, your parents, your grandparents, your sisters and brothers and relatives and friends and loved ones and girlfriends and boyfriends, etc. And the reason they were rooting for you because they too were deceived. In other words, the blind were rooting on the blind because no one reached the level of understanding to know that they did not know. I'm beginning to believe that we, unfortunately, are literally in what I consider to be a game. It's like a video game. Just imagine if you had 2.5 billion frames of reference. And out of the 2.5 billion frames of reference, you might be in one, and the other 2 point some odd billion might be in the other. But yet you all are in darkness because you hadn't broken out of those frames of reference. But you didn't know there was somewhere to go because you never reached the level of knowledge to know that there was somewhere to go because you were following darkness, algorithms that kept you in that system, that negative sound that you couldn't break free because you couldn't reach enough power to know that in order to break out, you needed the power. And as a result of getting the power, you would literally remove yourself from the disease. But yet you thought the disease was more than likely the act of God. Well, if God want me to have cancer, I guess I got cancer. If God want me to have Parkinson's or dementia, I guess I just might as well acknowledge and accept it and realize I'm going to be with the Lord. But that's not the case. That's not what's going on. We have a false understanding of who God is. So as a result, we're looking for something outside of ourselves to validate us. But yet what's inside you will make you become what you're seeking to validate you. You're becoming the truth, Alpha and Omega, first and the last, that bright morning star. Let's go back to the individual that's swimming and all the people are over on the bank rooting him on. He's about 50 yards out. And then he came to himself and realized he was swimming in the wrong direction. So what he started to do was he started to backstroke, meaning he's going back where he came from. But he's not going back where he came from. he's going deeper. So as a result of going deeper, his mind is evolving. And as a result, he's able to encode the information that many people can't encode because his mind is powerful, just like a computer. Just imagine if you had a computer and the one computer was analog and the one computer was a super quantum computer or a digital computer or 5G computer. The analog is not going to be able to compute as fast as the 5G because it lacks the power. So those that lack the power wouldn't know that they need the power in order to see beyond what they see because they hadn't reached the power to know there's more to know. You're just like one speck on the universe. One speck out of, say, 20 billion specks. And you think that one speck is it? You see Russia, you see Ukraine, you see Putin and all these different countries around the world, everybody fighting and dropping bombs and jets and planes. That can't compare to the power that you're capable of becoming. Many of you look at that as though that's power. That's no power. That's just like dealing with a firecracker and an atomic bomb. In other words, it's just like you blowing a dust mite, a little lint, blowing it off of your clothes. That's how easy it would be to literally annihilate all that you see in the physical constructs of this world, from atomic bombs to wars, to rumors of wars. It's a sound. And the sound is so minute. Once you reach perfection, you'll be walking on the sound. In other words, the sound that you currently possess will be traveling at the speed of light. But the sound that many are in, that darkness that literally has gripped their soul from cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and heart disease, strokes, and all types of infirmities, that darkness that has gripped their throats didn't allow them to get to the perfect sound, which would remove them from the poison. So as a result, they would need the medication and make the pharmaceutical companies rich because we've reached the perfect sound. What if we all reached that perfect sound? Pharmaceutical companies wouldn't make no money. How can they make money if everyone's well? What if we all reach perfection? And once we reach perfection, we'll come up with ideas that we were incapable of coming up with because we now have the mind to be able to understand what we didn't understand. So in other words, we'll be light years into the future, 13.8 billion years versus dying at 180. And when you're dying at 80, 90 years old, you already been mutated, so you can't really think. You can't jump up and down and do the things you used to do because you're going the wrong way, but you think that's the right way. Many have taken the wide gate to lead to destruction and the narrow gate to lead to life. Not many people find. I'm telling you all, you think because you got a JD, DD, MD, PhD, bachelor's, master's degree, you got the 411. You might have the 411 when it comes to the world system, but the world system leads to one place, and that's the grave. We must remove our grave clothes. We must shine like we never shined before. And we must become what we've been seeking to find. And that's one with the truth. That truth is what's known as God. And God is a perfect sound, which is above every sound. Until you come to realize there's something behind the veil that you can't see, you're going to continue to stay in a prison that has your tombstone on it. You must fight, because if you don't fight, you're going to continue to be tossed to and from and not realize you had the ingredients in you to become all that you were capable of becoming, but yet you were led astray, just like sheep on their way to the slaughter. We're smarter than you think. We're smarter than you think. We didn't go to MIT, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, Nobel laureates, Oxford. We went to a place that many know not of, and that place is called freedom. God bless.